I don't hold the door open for people because I don't want to put myself in a vulnerable position when I'm just trying to be a nice guy.
We are in a society in which the women have been raised not to respect the men of their culture.
I just push her, hope the lion snatches her up, and I got a clean run for the other exit.
And I didn't hear a hero's language in any of that.
To Just the Guys podcast.
And y'all know what time it is. It is time for Just the Guys. Make sure you hit that like button, share, and subscribe to Just the Guys podcast. You can also join the Shamers Club. It helps go a long way. You can also join us on Discord. The MCM Discord is up and live. So make sure you join us on Discord. You hit the link there and join the server. How you feeling though, man? Because you've had the Do Funny flu for a little while.
You know what's crazy, you guys? Okay, dude. You know what? Allow me to big screen this. You know what, you guys? I'm tired of this whole do funny flu thing. Okay, something happens and I have the do funny flu. I will happily explain to you guys. January was my wife this month. My wife and I's 19-year wedding anniversary. Thank you. We proceeded to spend the entire month doing wonderful stuff together. Call it what you want to call it.
Sus.
It's been magnificent, bro.
Sus.
So I'm happy to be back. And there we go. You can call it sus if you want to. I enjoy. Do a spin for me.
Hey, man, come on.
Beautiful.
Come on.
There you go.
We're live, man. We don't want to get kicked off of YouTube, man. We don't want to get kicked off of YouTube, man.
We ain't getting kicked off of YouTube. So it is good to be back. I did miss you guys. We did some anniversary stuff. It was nice.
And guys, how we do this here, of course, we go live on 6:30 on Saturdays, but we drop and release our podcast episodes on Wednesdays. If you missed the last podcast episode, so we dropped it and we talked about the Starfleet Academy. Like if you missed that, definitely go check it out. CT, who has the Do Funny flu today, was defending Starfleet Academy, which was very interesting. Maybe he doesn't have the Do Funny flu today. He actually may have swallowed his comm badge.
I think I swallowed my comm badge.
Already?
Yeah.
I will say, you guys, that was an outstanding and entertaining episode. You guys, if you didn't get the opportunity to check that episode out, please do. For I actually learned something. I was talking to Gimpy a little earlier about it. I'm not all that adept when it comes to Star Trek or Star Wars and all that, but listening, I actually learned something.
I don't know, this year, for some reason, I've been excited about the Olympics. So the Olympics starts February 6th, so next week. What was that?
I didn't even know there were Olympics this year.
Yeah, Winter Olympics, man.
It's every 2 years, Winter Olympics.
No, every 4 years.
Every 4 years.
Every 4 years is the actual Olympics, right?
What do you mean? This is the actual Olympics.
I didn't even realize.
Yeah,
where is it this time?
Italy.
So track and field Olympics happens at the same time as ice skating Olympics.
No.
That's why I said
there are Olympics. There are Olympic Games every 2 years. Yes.
I just said that.
No, but the Summer Olympics every 4 years. Winter Olympics every 4 years. They alternate.
Okay, so one doesn't happen every two.
No,
one doesn't happen. One doesn't happen. I was under the presupposition that every 2 years was the Winter Olympics, and every 4 years was like the actual Summer Olympics. I thought that's how that worked.
No.
There we go. I just learned something.
So every 4 years there's a Summer Olympics. Every 4 years there's a Winter Olympics, but they're staggered 2 years each.
Okay, yeah, okay, that would make sense. Okay, no, you know how I timed it. You guys called me Do Funny, whatever. I literally thought, okay, so we have the presidential election, so that means one of the major Olympics is happening, and then we have the midterms and all that. So I was that's how I timed it. So hey, look, I learned about Star Trek and I learned about the Olympics. There we go. Cheers.
I'm starting to wait till he starts telling us I learned how to breathe and I learned how to tie my shoes.
Dude, where's my toaster at? I literally...
Bro, I don't know if you should bring up a toaster, man. I do like to thank our partners with Just the Guys and Metro Conservative Media. If you haven't already, go to switchwithlogic.com. Switch away from these uber leftist, progressive, communist organizations that are, quite frankly, killing your family. So you can start your shopping away from the bad guys, the big guys, and especially if a bunch of us little guys band together, we can really make a difference. So join the over 2 million shoppers that have made the switch. I made the switch. One of the best decisions I made over the past year and a half. We started shopping American-made, American-owned products, family-owned products. So Go to switchwithlogic.com to learn more and to start to switch today. Guys, I am excited as well to launch the Metro Conservative Media website. So coming soon, just in time for Black History Month, you know, because they say this organization is run by Jews.
It is. Last time I checked, you're the most Jewish guy here.
Guys, make sure you bookmark www.metroconservativemedia.com. www.metroconservativemedia.com. The site is going live.
It's a trap.
It is a trap. Now, guys, our main topic tonight, should we be opening doors for women? Should men open doors for women? I mean, we've heard all the terms before. I mean, ladies first, happy wife, happy life. When she's good, we're good, you know, even believe all women, you know, but are those rooted in real respect for women, or are they designed to weaken the role of men? The whole idea of chivalry, is it dead? Should it die? Should we bring it back, or just something entirely completely different?
Royal, abundant, magnificent, rising. Let's talk about the theory behind opening the door. Victorian times, dress was too big, arms was too small, couldn't reach the door. Baby on the titty, couldn't reach the door. Grocery bags, couldn't reach the door. Or it could be invaders behind the door, so the man got to open the door and make sure they don't steal his woman, land, and kill his children. Why do we give our seat to a woman? Well, as she sits, the man is the head, he's higher, he surveys, make sure ain't nothing dangerous coming. Theory behind opening the door for a woman is not just to open the door, it is to lighten the load and add a layer of protection. You've been taught to open the door, but why?
Listen, fellas, this is very important, y'all. Open the doors for the women, okay? Open the doors for women. Women are very, very important. You need to start opening the doors for women. Put them first, okay? The reason why I say this is because they never told us the reason why we're supposed to open the door for a woman first. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say that y'all are on a family date, okay? You know, y'all having family time, whatever, having a family date. You mess around and go to the zoo and take the kids there, y'all be able to have fun. You don't let the kids go in first, okay? You put the woman first, all right? So when you open the door, let the woman go in first, because if it's a tiger or a lion or a gorilla that's on the loose, let her ass get snatched and ate up. You get the kids to safety, all right? So let the woman go in first. Open the doors for women. Let her go in first.
I laughed hard. Dude, you know why you hold the door open for women? Do it so I can look at their ass.
That's a good reason.
I mean, why else? Of course, you open the door for a woman as a layer of protection. That's where it came from, right? Because you hold the door. It was an actual.
So do you hold the door and then you go first through it, or do you hold the door?
You hold the door
and let her go in first.
Like, make sure it's safe. She goes out, and then so that nothing comes from behind either. It's a whole chivalrous thing. But again, I saw something when you said chivalry is chivalry dead. I saw a meme today that hit this dead over, right? Women complain men don't plan dates anymore. Men don't do all these grand gestures when they're trying to court women anymore, right? So the thing goes to say is the reason why men did that was because women were worth doing that for. And had value to do that for. Women were, they played fairly. They were committed to the dating process, to the courting process. It wasn't having a bench of 37 guys they talked to feel better about themselves, or, their male friends to run to when their boyfriend is making them unhappy and shit. Like, they took the process seriously. So men took the process seriously. So yeah, be chivalrous for a woman who takes you seriously. Don't give a fuck about a woman who doesn't take you seriously. That's it. It's really that simple. Yeah, hold the door for the women that matter. Don't give a fuck about the women that don't matter. They're less than toasters. Like, the joke is you hold it for them so you can look at their ass. That's what they think you're doing it for anyhow, so you may as well do what they're thinking. But at the end of the day, dude, you only do things like that for the ones that matter. Everyone else, dude, I don't show comfort to other people that don't matter to begin with. I'm not going to go out of my way. No one gives a fuck about me. Why am I going to start being what everyone else isn't?
First, positive vibes. You're awesome. Chivalry is dead. Women killed it. I'll take it a step further. Chivalry is dead and feminism killed it. But before I get to that, I'm going to look at a couple of different ways. I think MeToo stopped a lot of men opening doors for women. A lot of where women wanted to go, a lot of where they wanted to get to in the world of work and all of that good stuff, getting up to higher levels. They believed they probably needed mentorship, and the mentorship that was available for the positions that they wanted were mostly men. And with that whole Me Too thing, I think a lot of men decided to just keep the doors closed for women. And kudos to the aspect of the whole I don't want to be in the same room with, because I don't want to get, I don't want people to think, or I did this or I did that, and this believe all women thing. And I guess I say it like that, this believe all women thing. No, not at all. No, I believe in due process. When I'm out with any of my ladies, wife, daughter, all of that good stuff, they've been with me, both daughters, their entire life, wife 20 years. They understand when they're with me, guess what? We'll walk up to any door going anywhere, and they just pause and wait, because I've trained them for it. I'm like, yep, I got you. No problem. I got out of the car today. They don't open their doors at all. They just know I'm coming. All right. That's just how it works. Now, I will do that for other women when they're there. And the only reason I do that is because I use them and as an example of what you as another woman should be. That's how that works. If they're all together, I get them for everybody. My wife and daughter usually go first. They stop at the next door.
But what if it's a tiger on the other side, though?
But there isn't. And I'll get to that. And there's another thing for that, but I'll get to that.
Then, as you were clearly instructed, let her ass get snatched up, and you be safe, brother. And you be safe.
When the other young lady walked in behind, they usually look and they go, oh, okay. And then there's been a couple times in which my daughter's been like, wait. And then I'll get the door, and then they'll go, and then she'll be like, oh, thank you. Like, oh, wow, that's not, because I'm coming to the realization that half these chicks just probably haven't had anything like that before. We're growing up in a society, or we are in a society in which the women have been raised not to respect the men of their culture. So, and that's in every culture. If you look at Homer Simpson has been portrayed on television as a stupid man for over 35 years. There are no masculine men on any kind of commercial you see on television today. They're all a specific way. So when you are the minority, you have to teach these people. Now, on what you were saying, logic in the aspect of what if there's a lion on the other side, there are two different scenarios. You're opening the door because you know what's on the other side. So you're making sure that that there's protection behind you. Or if it's a place we've never been before, I will open the door. I will grab her hand and I will lead her in. And I will go first because I want to make sure that I see it's a place I've never been and they know this person's with me.
So you hold the door, then walk in.
I open the door, go in first.
Yeah.
Look around and then grab her hand, and then she comes in after me.
I just push her, hope the lion snatches her up, and I got a clean run for the other exit. I'm just saying, man, that guy laid it out. I don't know why you guys are trying so hard. I feel like we were instructed well. We can tell them it's to protect them, but we all know it's so the lion snatches them first.
Have you guys ever looked at what chivalry is?
It's a lifestyle to live in a knight's honorific order. Mm-hmm. It's about being a knight in ancient medieval times, and what it was. It's the European version of samurai.
Right. Yeah, so I saw it in a Masonic way, but yeah.
So the knights were effectively brutal people, right? They were brutal at one point in time. So they came up with a code of chivalry.
The Code of Chivalry was a set of ethical and behavioral guidelines that govern the conduct of knights and nobles in medieval Europe. It emphasized virtues such as honor, loyalty, courage, and courtesy. The code was a response to the violence and chaos of the time, aiming to establish a sense of order and morality within the warrior class. Key principles of the Code of Chivalry included courage. Knights were expected to be brave in battle and face danger without hesitation. Loyalty. Knights were to be loyal to their lord, their comrades, and their oaths. Honor. Knights were required to uphold their word, act with integrity, and defend their reputation. Courtesy. Knights were to be polite and respectful, especially towards women and the weak. Justice. Knights were to protect the innocent, uphold laws, and fight against injustice. Generosity. Knights were encouraged to be generous and share their wealth with those in need. Faith. Knights were to be devout Christians and demonstrate their faith through their actions.
The other part of it, beyond that, was kind of the romanticization. I don't know if that's the right word. But it was romanticized in a way to now kind of be an idea where we pretty much put women on a pedestal instead of being more designed to protect and be leaders as men. To what I'm seeing now is that we use chivalry kind of as a way to then put women on a pedestal, which then does in turn diminish the role of men.
In the modern day, the term chivalry usually refers to a respectful and gentlemanly treatment of women. This was indeed a part of chivalry in the Middle Ages too, though perhaps not quite in the way we might think. Courtly love described a specific type of platonic or at the very least non-sexual, love between a knight and a lady, who was usually unavailable, either by being already married or being of a higher social class. Think Lancelot and Guinevere from the Arthurian legends. Guinevere was already married to King Arthur, but Lancelot fell deeply in love with her. At first it was just pining, and Lancelot had no plans to act on his feelings. But once Guinevere returned his affections, they started a sordid love affair. Of course, in the ideal courtly love relationship, no affair would take place. It was seen to be beneficial for a young knight to have a lady to have his eye on.
Right, like you understand that that's a hyper convenient framing right there that allows for the window of massive degeneracy in the perfect courtship. But you understand, like all these ladies had lines of knight lovers that right, like this wasn't like this pure. This is just what we write down so people don't think we're degenerates. Man. This is the history of our degeneracy.
Listen, I'm not debating you, bro. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, like anybody who gets fooled by that shit, I'm blown away in 2020. I'm not saying you guys are, but like someone watches this and believes that picturesque bullshit is what really actually happens.
Him and make him an even more effective knight as he would try to impress her. Ladies would sometimes give knights objects, like a handkerchief, as a show of favor before the knight went off to battle. This was meant to encourage the knight to fight his best. As you can see, this sort of culture really only applied to high-class women. Also, there's less respect and more admiration. The knights put these women on a pedestal, one that was impossible to live up to.
The idea of chivalry has been romanticized but it's designed to get men to put women on a pedestal to try to achieve an unachievable goal, right? Which also diminishes the male's position.
Oh, you're saying because it's ancient forms of simping.
I'm just saying it's the same
thing because it's ancient forms of simping. Yeah, but dude, like you understand that's also like they killed each other over that simping, right? Seriously, they killed each other. Like after a while, some of these guys were just not okay with not being able to keep and they would just murk the guy with a sword in a duel because all you had to do was slap him across the face and you could fight to the death. It's not what they write that, right? Like the reason why chivalry became a thing in the modern day is they did it to sell fantasy books so that women would buy romance novels, so that Merlin and Guinevere and Lancelot and like they could recreate these concepts in the modern day so that they could have. But it's not. I don't see it. Even if it's true what you're saying, which I'm not saying it isn't, right? I'm not arguing that. It's unintended side effects. That's not what the point was. The point was to make money.
We could say the point of anything is to make money.
No. Chivalry specifically, the modernization of chivalry is to sell fantasy. The modern specifically, right? That's what he's talking about. He's talking about the modern. It's specifically to sell fantasy to women. It is. It's a marketing tool to sell romance novels. My point is, I don't think it's a purposeful meant to diminish men's scale. In fact, if you look at it from arguably what you would say female perspective, it elevates men. It gives men a level of because they're more than just. It's not that they don't want the rugged fighting warrior, but they want it to be that they're the only woman. He has some deep, dark, emotional pool to share with them. It's okay that everyone else doesn't get it, but they want it. And that's the chivalry fantasy they're selling, is that this knight, rugged, dark, look at the cover of every book, man. But yet he has this warm depth that after all this meanness, you scrub it all away. What I can see, I can fix him. It goes into the fantasy that I can fix him fan. It's like, dude, it's a marketing tool to sell romance novels, modern chivalry.
Let's first of all, these women were supposed to be virgins. They were supposed to be like these women were of a specific class. They were the daughters of royalty. They were all of that good stuff. Only a specific group of people were able to take a handkerchief and give it to a knight that was going out to fight a war. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen it or not. There's a series that ended. It ended in 2024. It's called The Serpent Queen. It's the only thing I've ever seen that's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's about the Queen of France. They called her the Serpent Queen back at the time, and how she had 9 kids and all of her children end up dropping like flies. It's crazy. Just all the men are dying over and over and over again. And this entire series is about how scandalous and devious the women are. We're putting these women onto a pedestal and all of that good stuff because they're more precious than gold and this and that and all that good stuff. And they are the purveyors of life in the future and all that good stuff. And everybody that's in that video that was just shown to us by Logic, these women are the people of the court. They're the people of the Torah. They're the ones that are of a specific level and standard. But behind the scenes, all they're doing is creating mischief and chaos to get what they want from the men. And if you do the research on it, these people did exist and all that good stuff. They took their own liberties. But I truly believe, yes, that the women were a specific way. And they were like, you know what? These men want us. And all we have to do is convince them, whichever way we can choose to convince them to get what we want.
Men,
what do you say?
right?
What do you say?
I think I've been playing, like, Roman women would withhold sex from their men to force them to not go to war.
Lena, how are you?
Welcome to Just the Guys. Welcome to Just the Guys. So the question for you, should men hold the door open for women?
Yes, I would like to get it back, but I don't know if we can sustain it with the MeToo movement and how women are entitled to it. I think the problem with is women having the sense of entitlement and not being held accountable, even though I am very liberal and, I believe in women's rights, but sometimes it goes too far left, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. Now, do you agree with the gentleman that said the women should go first through the door so she can get attacked by a lion?
You muted yourself.
No, not at all. But I also wanted to go back to what Gimpy was saying about their medieval simps. I never thought about it, but yeah, they kind of were.
In the way they're presenting it, like, I don't believe that that's really what happened. Like, I think that most of these guys were getting, the noblewoman was banging all these knights all the time. But the way they present that is that these guys from afar worship these women like roses, and dude, that never happened.
In literature, it's true. They seem simpish. If you, I didn't read King Arthur, but I'm familiar with the tale. Remember, I think even if you read the literature, I think they slept together. I think Guinevere and Lancelot, they have some type of physical, thing going between each other. I haven't read it though. He was sworn to protect her, even though she was married to King Arthur. So, he was like the other man, like he was the original. Now, I did read Canterbury Tales. Oh, that was so difficult. Medieval English is hard. But
I gotta
yeah,
go back and read it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you read it. Oh,
I mean, I read it like growing up, but I got to go back because I done forgot most stuff.
You see the wife of Bath. She talks about what a perfect man was, and she basically describes a simp. She said how a man's supposed to be and good in the bed and well endowed, have money and please her and does whatever she wants.
Now, do you agree with that, or how are men supposed to be?
No, I am. Oh God, I'm bad. So don't even. I think I'm one of those dreamers. I want somebody really in love with me, and I'm really in love with them. We evenly yoke, and we're gonna be in love to the end of time, and we're gonna grow old and die together. And when you die, I'm gonna still love you.
Lena,
so you still living in a fairy tale, huh?
Yeah, you sound like love is an emotion, Lena.
I feel like it's an emotion and an act. It's both. It's also a contract to me.
You believe love is foundational?
Yeah, it's a certain extent, but I look at love as a contract you make with someone, before God. Like, I love you, you love me. We're gonna
that sounds like a covenant. I'm thinking the aspect of. I'm thinking of love in the aspect like I don't know. I see love as 1 Corinthians 13. That's my foundation for love. It's patient, it's kind, maybe it's not all that good stuff. Yes, it's long suffering, all of that. It says nothing to do with makes me feel good.
This means that they're selling a lie. The troubadours were the foundations of romantic chivalry, right? The people who went around village to village singing tall tales of stuff. The world is much uglier and dirtier than anyone wants to ever give it. Whenever we read history of a time period, just multiply that by degenerate. Whatever they're telling you, just add whatever level of degenerate you think was supposed to be there was there. Dude, I'm just saying, like, they do this all the time. They try and make you remember everything rosy colored. It wasn't, right? Like, everybody talks about the 80s now as if it were like this, especially because of the Stranger Things impact and everything. Like, it was this not insano decade, dude, that was coke filled. Like, literally coke-filled decade.
We often forget that there is nothing new under the sun, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, Like everything flows in cycles, and even me, I have to remember that sometimes. Like, this stuff's nothing new. Like even when I'm bringing up these issues of communism, which there is a stated goal, they didn't invent the tricks of or the tools they're using in the tool bag, right? So I think it's important to even remember that, because one thing, if you want to destroy any community, right, you take out men, right? You destroy families. You find ways to weaken the order, right, of family. So where men are the leaders of the family, you try to find a way to break that up. And again, these oftentimes are things about power and control and, subversion. But, I do focus on, communism because I see how that is trying to destroy America. But, these tools that are being used are not anything that communism or communists or Karl Marx or Engels or Frankfurt School, any of them invented. They're just things that they're using.
Question about what you said earlier. So do you guys open doors for other women? For outside of your wife?
It depends. I mean, I don't know if you remember the first example or the first scenario. Like if I'm at work, man, or in a corporate situation, I'm like, no.
Hell no. I definitely
You don't?
no. I'll let them go first, but I will not hold the door, dude. That's an HR claim waiting to happen.
That's what it has become. Wow. If you're doing something new for somebody, it's for one of two reasons. It's you're asking for absolutely nothing in return. You're just doing it for them, or you're trying to teach them something, or you're trying to do both. I remember walking into a 7-Eleven looking at my phone, or walking up to a 7-Eleven door looking at my phone because I was doing something. And there was a young lady in front of me, and she opened the door and she walked in and held the door for me. And I put my hand out because I was finished reading something. I put it out. And then I walked in, and as I was reading, she goes, "Well, thank you." She was like, "I should never open the door for your ass." Right now, I told her specifically, I'm like, "You have to forgive me. You're just not that important. I wasn't looking up to see if you were holding the door for me or not. Like you're just not that you're not that important to me." And that's really, and it's sad. That's really where it's come to.
You don't hold the door for the person coming. Like again, it's one thing to purposefully go out of your way to hold open a door for someone, right? Like I'll do it for an old person, like that. I'll hold open a man or a woman, an old person who like actually needs help with the door. But like I won't hold the door for a woman out of chivalry. But at the same token, I'll like when I'm walking, I'll keep my hand on the door long enough for the guy or woman, whoever's coming behind me, to grab the door next.
Yeah, that's
I'm not just gonna let it. Right. Like, so I'm just like, there's like, I want to be clear. It's like, it's not like a lack of courtesy. It's that, dude, in 2026, I'm not putting myself in a position, right? Like, that's why I made the joke and said, oh, I hold it open so I can look at their butt. Cause that's what they all think is going on, dude. Like, it's a universal thing. Like, they assume that the worst possible reason is the reason you're doing anything nice. That's why anybody thinks in 2026. So like, I don't hold the door open for people because I don't want to put myself in a vulnerable position when I'm just trying to be a nice guy. No one cares about that.
So that is your reasoning. I just think that maybe I'm too far gone, I guess. I don't know, because I'm sitting here like, I just don't care anymore.
Yeah, like, dude, that's a little scary to me.
No, it is the 100% truth. I've gotten to a point. I have gotten to a point where I just don't care. I made a left turn one night at 2:00 in the morning. I was in a company vehicle. I looked and I saw a young lady broke down right next to the hospital. And I'm looking there and I'm like, okay, I roll down my window, company vehicle, completely marked up, all of that good stuff. And I say, "Hey, do you need any help?" And she proceeds to just look at me like I'm crazy. And it's freezing cold outside. So I'm like, yeah, okay. You won't be hearing from me again. 4:00 in the morning. Guess what? When I get back, she's still there. Now she's actually rolling the window down, waving. And I just look at her as I drive by. I mean, because that's where we've gotten to a point where Western women claim to be equal or even stronger. If you want to be a man, then be a man. Like I've gotten to that.
They don't want to be. They want to be better than us, but that's a different story.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But I've gotten to a point literally where I'm like, you know what, bro, just do you.
I do think more men need to embrace that and stop caring what other people think, and even beyond that, just own it, right? I mean, just like Gimpy saying, like, yeah, I'm looking at her butt, and and if they challenge you on, you say yes, that's what I'm doing. But I mean, because
you not have a butt.
There's a lot of reasons, right? But because men have tried to quote unquote play nice in the sandbox, I think it puts us oftentimes in a compromising situation. I mean, think about, the whole child support system, or think about really just this whole, this Me Too thing, right? I still think even now, most men aren't what women, or not women, but society has labeled us as, right? I mean, the whole idea of toxic masculinity, I don't think most men are toxic. But if you're going to call us that, if you're going to call me,
I wear it. I'm toxic. You can hang it around. I'm toxically masculine. I am totally okay.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, we should embrace it, right? If you're calling me toxic, if you're calling me whatever, like, but this
all the names in the world.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, not caring, but that's kind of ownership of it, right? If me doing the right thing is called toxic, then I'm toxic, right? That's all I'm saying. Like, it's if that's what you want to call me, fine. If me wanting to lead my family is me being misogynist or abusive, look, I don't know what to tell you, like, because I'm just going to take care of my family. That's
and
what
that's
it is.
100% how I look at it. They will, if I'm with them, you'll see what, and this, I guess, is answering kind of, we watch YouTube 8890. If I'm with them, you're going to see what it looks like.
I thought this was a good question. Are you punishing good women by treating all of us like liberal women? And that is a good way of phrasing it, because I think that's why it's important to not care, especially if you're a decent person. I mean, I know, Gimpy, you're embracing the bad guy, and like, you're a bad guy, but to the YouTube universe, Gimpy is a decent dude.
A lot of these people, man.
Yeah, whatever, bro. But
dude, but how do I know she's a good one? Not that I'm saying she's not.
We don't. It doesn't matter.
She's a good woman. Why should I bother even trying?
It does. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter.
High for me to end up with charges.
So are you saying that you treating all of them like, because a comment that was put in earlier said, I never have to worry about, and it's somewhere up there, I go out and men always open the door for me. Because her thing is, I act like a woman. So because I act like a woman, people treat me like one. Men act like men around me.
The risk is so high that if a guy tries to help a woman out, there's such a high risk, thanks to Me Too, that there's problem. I'm sorry, no.
I'm just saying, then we watch YouTube. There's the answer to your question.
I'm sorry, dude, you have to prove that you're a good woman, because I have a much higher risk about you saying something bad about me than me saying something bad about you. I go to jail, you say something bad about me.
And it's guilty until proven innocent. And
that's what I'm saying. Like, dudes don't have fair shake anymore. So, like, I'm not like, why should dudes stick their neck out because you say you're good? All of them say they're good till next day they're fucking calling the cops on you for shit you never did. And how many times have we seen that now at every level, from celebrities down to the most ordinary person? We have seen women use the system to punish men with lies, honestly, with just straight lying. I mean, dude, everybody knows JP president from CT panel, man. His ex-wife brought him to court and everything. All on lies, man. None of it was true.
Gimpy said that marriages don't work. The fact of the matter is, there are a lot of great guys out there. A lot of great guys out here. And there's another great fact. The majority of those great guys are taken.
I'm just saying, just be, man. Like I said, stop caring. He said you traumatized. I mean, I don't know about traumatized, but
not necessarily traumatized.
Like, we're just kind of navigating.
You learn from your mistakes.
Well, you're navigating the waters that you're in.
I don't want to go to jail, man.
More often than not. If you're doing the right thing, you'll be good. But I get it, man. I know.
But my mentality is, you're right. I do believe logic 100% in the aspect of, we are navigating the waters that we are in. I again believe that feminism killed chivalry, or whatever version of chivalry that we have today. And for me, the only way that you'll see my chivalry, and I still got it. The only way you'll see it now is if I'm with my ladies.
What about you?
I'll hold the door for We Watch YouTube. How about that? Dude, I would not want to be 20 in 2026 and have to learn how to date in 2026. Can you imagine some of they have consent apps.
We just talked about that with Bling a couple weeks ago. Bling's like, he doesn't deal with
this
stuff.
Where you touch your phone to the other person's, like,
oh, that's
we live
crazy.
in the day and age that's necessary. That's the scary part. It's not that we have it, it's that you need it, that you have to have.
I was at a grocery store and I asked the young lady, I said, can I give you a compliment? And my daughter's used to it. I said, because this is a society today in which I have to ask. And she said, that's really sad.
I just don't give compliments. If I feel I have to ask, I just don't give the compliment.
Hey guys, can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah, so should men hold the door open for women?
So why are we considering that chivalry?
Because today that's part of what chivalry, I mean, it changed. It has changed over the years, but that's part of what it is today.
Okay. In some places, like I said, in the South, that's just common courtesy. Everybody does that for everybody. So it wouldn't in our area be considered chivalry. However, there is a song about a man that picked up a woman on the side of the road and ended up finding out that she had been beaten by her husband. And the song tells that he goes back and he basically kills the guy and goes to prison for the woman. And if you want to study, I'll have to find the name of the song for you guys, but if you want to study reactions to chivalry, that was so telling to see the difference between white male reactions to it and black male reactions. It was very, very telling.
So what did you see in the
what did you find
reactions?
The black males were more aligned to, that's not my woman. She's not a part of my family. I'm not going to stop and help her. I see she's on the side of the road. She's bloody. She's beat up. It's her problem, and move on. And even in the reactions where two black males were talking, they were both encouraging each other. She is not your responsibility. Get out of the way. White men, especially Southern white men, were more like, yeah, that's what he should have done. Good for him. And they were far more willing to stop the car and to pursue being her hero. And I'm wondering, and I think hero is a proper word, is that chivalry to a woman is a man being a hero. And so what do y'all think about looking at it through that lens?
There's a huge cultural difference. Okay.
Agreed.
A very huge cultural difference. And I always say that we culturally were raised by a culture of women that were not raised to respect the men of their culture. Men, if men felt that they could be a specific way, if they felt that they could just lead without having to deal with the aspect of black girl magic, and without having to deal with the aspect of everything that comes along with that, I believe they possibly could. But I also believe that, you know what, if women would act like women, men would act like men. If a young lady runs up screaming and crying in the hood of the hood, all right, screaming and crying, saying, oh my God, he's about to hurt me, whichever man she runs up to will be like, holy cow, because she's acting like a woman, because she's feminine, he is allowed to be masculine.
No, just to give a little culture. I mean, at least what I've seen culturally from that. And since you brought it up, we watch YouTube. The woman on the side of the road, generally, this is the first thought in a black person's head. Black Americans, black man particularly. What's the scheme? What's the scam?
Setup.
Yeah, what's the setup? Because a woman on the side of the road, the bloody, it could be ketchup, could be something. Because the thought process, and sadly this is culturally, who's out to get me? Who's behind the car? Who's going to jump out and get me as a result of attempting to help this person? I remember I was driving in Baltimore. This was a long time ago. I was driving down the highway, I-83, and a car spun out, and I saw it happen. So I pulled over and it's like, just trying to help the person. I was going to my girlfriend's house at the time, and of course I ended up late, and I was telling her what happened. I was like, someone spun out, just making sure they was okay. I called the cops and just make sure they were good.
Right.
She was like, yeah, we don't do that. We don't do that because if you don't know what that person was doing, you don't know what that person would say. And even to the point now, and this actually maybe cross cultural lines, because those times where you try to help someone get out of a car in a car accident or a car wreck or something like that, and you ended up hurting them further, or maybe not doing it the right way, or you're not a licensed paramedic or authority, they will sue you, right? They will sue you for helping out now. I think when it comes down to that song and maybe the reaction, the reason why you may see black people respond a certain way, because the thought process immediately is, what is the scam? What is the scheme? And maybe other cultures will be like, well, how can I help this person? Or what's really going on? I mean, there's so many jokes about it, right? When there's danger, something's blowing up, all the black people are running that way, and the white people, what's going on over there, guy? It's like, it's like one of those things. But yeah,
well,
I don't know.
I want to bring it back then, because I was listening with the filter on of how a hero talks and doesn't. And didn't hear a hero's language in any of that. But I think that it's up to us to decide when we want to adopt a new mindset and we want to rise above our culture, because what I see being lost, which should never be lost, is the golden rule.
I 100%
don't
agree with that.
see that go by the side, whether chivalry does or not. The golden rule should not be lost. We still should be doing for others as we hope someone should do for us. And we should be raising our children that way. We still have good old boys around here, and they're plentiful. So in our area, if a guy stops in a truck and asks you if you need help, you know he's probably one of those good old boys that do that for you. That would make a woman far more trusting in that situation than it would if I was up in the north and somebody I didn't know stopped and asked me if I wanted help.
Yep.
If the whole culture is like that. So I can see in areas, in geographies, you're going to have different responses. However, we are never, because our main geography is the kingdom of God, we have to hold that golden rule no matter what. But I think the examination of your question was really worthy of looking at. So thank y'all for inviting me on the page.
Hardy Wait in the Truck is the name of the song. There are cultural difference between way people, I mean, like I said, I live outside the city now, and you can see people more willing to help.
Neighborhood.
Man, shut up, man. You do see people more willing to help one another and more receptive of things like holding the door. But when you go into urban environments and things like that, I don't want to say it's all urban environments, but there is more of that everybody for themselves, that kind of
for number one attitude.
Yeah, just mentality. And granted, like you can be still looking out for number one here, but it's just like, hey man, I'm gonna hold the door.
I meant to ask We Watch YouTube if there was a third choice for the reaction, and that is speed up and hit the woman on the side of the road. Eliminate all problems.